Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade tabletop role-playing rules by World of Darkness. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this podcast is intended for a mature audience and will include strong language and mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and so forth, that may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or undead is strictly coincidental. My name is Rena Henze, and for tonight's game, I will be your storyteller. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Old Ways podcast, Vampire the Masquerade Chronicles, Shards of San Francisco. I am your storyteller Rena, and tonight we have some very interesting fallout from last week's episode. But before we do that, as always, I'd like to say thank you to our Patreon backers for all of your support, your listening ears, and all of the memes, comments, and other things you give us. If you'd like to join our Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. And now, let's get into some introductions. So, to my right.
Hi, this is Mike. I play Marcus Voss of Clan Bruja.
Indeed you do. Slightly cranky Bruja at the moment. And next to Mike, we have...
Hi, I'm John. I'll be playing Sylvestre La Violette, your local friendly gangrel.
Friendly?
Depends on who's talking.
That's true. And next to John?
Hi, my name is Tegan, and I'm playing Rum the Shaman of Clan Malkavian.
Indeed. At the end of the table.
Hi, this is Ali, and I play Katerina Bogdanovich of Clan Toreador.
And next to Ali?
Hello. My name is Bridget Jeffries, and I am playing Monika West of Clan Salubrine, who is crying in a ball somewhere, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Except for that third eye, which is just being snarky.
Oh, that one's ready to go to war.
Absolutely. Sure, it'll be fine. And last, but never least.
This is Tiffany, and I play Alex Giovanni, Forever Independent.
Definitely. For sure. So, we resume our story this evening after Marcus had received a very interesting letter from William Mallet. So, let's start with Alex and Rahm, as Alex has some very interesting news to pass along to their favorite himbo. So, Rahm, you are on the back of a motorcycle with your arm. Yes?
Before I got on the motorcycle, I'm going to text Alex that I'm coming in on a motorcycle and that I have Jane with me. Because I don't want Alex to fucking kill me.
Rahm is learning. Rahm, you text Alex, and you are now on the back of the motorcycle with your arms around Jane's waist, a mouth on the back of her neck grinning at you from above her collar. She passes you a helmet.
Wait, if we actually crash on a motorcycle, do vampire heads pop like watermelons too? Is this...
Yes, and then it's not fun to heal. Although I could always make some modifications to your skull.
I like my skull. I put the helmet on.
You put the helmet on, and there's wisps of gray smoke moving across the visor, looking a little bit like faces from the Scream, just briefly. Again, it's probably just a trick of the light.
Are all of your appliances and accoutrements spooky? When you use a stand mixer, do you hear the screams of the dead?
What would I use a stand mixer for?
Excellent point.
And as for everything being spooky, I'm a walking corpse.
Well, I mean, aren't we all?
Exactly my point. And she revs up the engine.
You are interesting.
I know. And she revs off so loud you can't talk. Maybe you probably try to talk because you're Rahm, but Nothing can be heard over the engine and the wind. Alex, you get a text message from Rahm that he's getting a ride on a motorcycle with Jane.
Okay. There are worse people.
And so the motorcycle pulls up after a few minutes. It's not that far away. The territory's not huge, right? And there's not a whole lot of traffic down in this part of town at this time of night. You pull up outside a small house that Rahm has not been to before. Alex, are you waiting outside, inside?
Probably outside. Well, I'm probably refilling water and food and yeah.
Okay.
And probably like hanging with Luther or whatever.
Yeah, Luther's just kind of ambling around. He's been very quiet lately. You're not exactly sure why. He doesn't want to talk about it. If you ask him what's bothering him, he won't say. He just changes the subject. But you hear the motorcycle and he disappears through a bookcase. And as you get off the motorcycle, Rahm, Jane looks at you and winks and says, "We can have our chat after you're done. None of my business. Besides, I'm hungry."
You're fine with hanging out around here?
I said I'm hungry.
Okay.
And she smiles.
Okay. I'll be right back.
You'd better be here when I come back.
I will be right. Yeah. Yeah, man, Rahm is bad at this.
She just taps you on the forehead with one of those extra jointed fingers. "I'm not going to chase you down again. This is your one shot."
Yeah, just give me like 20 or so, okay? Do you have a number? Do you have like a phone number? A number
No.
that I can Huh.
I'll be here.
Okay. No pager. Okay, sweet. So I will be right back. And then I'm gonna go in. I'm going inside.
The motorcycle revs away. Alex, Rahm has arrived.
Hey, what's up, Ali G? Ed, where's the stuff? Where's the ghost man?
Somebody upset him. Did you bring the snack?
I did. And I just I reach into my own jacket and pull out, of course, a medical grade blood pack.
Okay, yeah. Then I will pull out my metal straw and hit that Capri Sun as we walk inside.
So what do you want? Let's I got a thing I gotta go do. I got some stuff going on. You pulled me out of a very lovely scene, by the way. I've got pics.
I understand that your life is busy, but do you trust me when I tell you there's things you need to know?
Yeah, we don't have to do the song and dance thing. What's going on? How are you doing?
When was the last time you talked to Vince?
I mean, I have been trying my best to be a good friend. All right, I'm here to hold space. I'm here to listen. And right now, I gotta tell you, I'm not getting any good vibes from the Vincy boy. So I don't know what to tell you. I've done everything that I'm supposed to do.
Sit down.
Rahm immediately sits down. They respond very well to commands, direct ones.
I'm going to sit across from Rahm. Make sure that I make clear eye contact. Vince is gone.
And Rahm, as they say that, and as you say elaborate, your skin starts to feel cold and clammy in a way it hasn't since the whole infection thing. But you feel this kind of prickle across your skin. And Alex, you see his eyes kind of roll back the way they do when he goes into a vision. And Rahm, your whole body goes rigid, and you're somewhere else. You don't know who, where, what. It's cold in here. It's so cold. You can't move. You can't. You hear noise. You're trapped. You're in an enclosed space. It's so tight and it's dark, and something's happening. It's a noise above you. It's so cold. So cold. You're so tired, and oh god, it hurts. Your chest hurts, and you feel your hands kind of feebly clawing at your chest, and there's something there. You feel wood pushed through your chest, and you feel the walls closing in, and you snap back into the room.
Tell me everything you know right now.
Marcus didn't want to deal with him and thought he was a liability, so he made him go away for a while.
Marcus did it?
It's the impression I got. I don't know if I got a clear answer or not. He just said that he was taken care of, and that basically he's taking a long nap.
He's taking a long nap.
And it hurt Mina, and I haven't seen her since.
Rahm, you feel pain in your chest. Very sharp pain.
I know what that means.
I've been trying to gather information on Mina's, bring her here to help Mina.
I'm so sorry, Alex, but I don't personally care about Mina. I do care about Vince. Is he for certain quantities of alive, is he alive?
I don't have any guarantee.
You don't know. You don't know where he's at.
Nope.
Marcus just came up to you and said, "Hi, I put a toothpick in him like a hot dog wiener, like a little cocktail sausage."
Actually, I called, and he said he was taken care of and that he didn't kill him.
Like a fucking mob boss? Oh, he was taken care of. We put ceramic shoes on him and I put him at the bottom of the river.
For somebody who wants information from me is strangely keeping information from me.
Alex, this is not acceptable. This isn't... What? Here is my concern. Concisely. Vince was not convenient to Marcus. Vince is now gone. How long before each of us become not convenient to Marcus?
That is a very good question.
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. Alex, how old are you?
I was here when this city was a baby.
That's great. I love your ambiguous answers. I love them. Look, pardon me for being pissed off. All right.
How old are you?
How old am I? A lot fucking younger, Alex. But apparently, a lot fucking smarter.
Than me?
Hold on. I'm gonna take a fucking breath. I'm gonna ground myself. I'm gonna center myself. I'm gonna get right. But here's the deal. Here's the fucking deal. This is exactly what I was fucking worried about. All right? You know, it's a consolidation of power. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what you do. That's what you do. You know, it's
Notice in the fucking... which one of us didn't pick a side.
Well, you know what? That's great. You got money. You got resources. You don't even have to be here, Alex. You don't even fucking have to be here.
Rahm, I gave you resources. I gave you a place to go. I gave you a family. You didn't have to do this. I'm not saying you shouldn't want it.
Whoa. I didn't have to do this. What?
You didn't have to follow Marcus. You could have claimed yourself independent and lived with me.
Yeah. Well, first off, like,
I am not your enemy. I'm not the one you should be mad at.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not. Well, okay, that's a lie. I'm a little mad at you, a little bit. Because
should I have not told you?
No, that's not. Look, Alex, thank you for telling me. I appreciate you and everything that you do. And that is not sarcasm. It's gonna sound like sarcasm because I'm upset. But it is not sarcasm. I am upset.
Yeah, I agree. You should be.
What do you... Okay, so you tell me this information. You have two things. Either because you want me to know, because you respect me as a vampire being, or two, you wish for me to do something now.
What are you gonna do?
Well, that's actually a very good question, Alex.
So don't you think it's more logical that I actually care about how you feel and how you feel about Vince? And to remind you to limit who you trust?
That's the point? That is what you're trying to get across.
No, I think that you should know. Did he tell you?
No, he didn't fucking tell me.
Did anybody tell you?
No, nobody told me.
Okay.
I tried
Because they don't
ping
give
him and
a
shit.
shit.
I got nothing. I'm fine. I'm fine.
No, you're not, and it's okay to grieve.
Oh,
If I could find him and figure out where he's at to make sure that he's safe,
and to dig him up
well,
and
I mean-
strap him to the front of the boat, gilded like a goddamn mermaid.
I am not a Malkavian, first of all. Let me remind you of this. Those are not things that I do.
No. Yeah, I get that, Alex, but here's the deal. He's in fucking torpor.
And I agree that he needs to take a nap. The problem is that I don't think anybody was consulted. I don't think there was a discussion made whether or not we could help him. I was moving him to another place so that he would have better contact with Mina, so that she could help ground him and maybe bring him back. When you go that far, you need to take a nap for a while. But because I'm not in control of where he's at, because I can't control where he's at, I don't know that he's safe. I don't know that if tomorrow that'll be used as leverage against us because he'll burn it.
I am grateful for this information. And I am grateful for your advice. And I'm going to take your advice. I'm saying this as if I wasn't already taking your advice. All right?
I'm not upset that you're upset. I'm not upset that you yelled at me. Everybody handles things differently. But you should know. He didn't just, skip off into the moonlight.
I know he didn't just skip off into the moonlight. I could tell something was up. I didn't know exactly what was up. But thank you for this information. I will take it and I will use it the way that I see fit.
And how is that? You need to be safe.
Alex, you don't need to know that. Because here's the deal. Listen, hear me out first. All right? I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm really not. But here's the deal. You don't need to know, okay? I'm saying, Alex, you don't need to know because I don't need, and this barony doesn't need, another loose end. What you need to know from me, what you want to know from me, is if I'm gonna do something stupid. All right? So, Alex.
I don't think you often do things stupid.
Well,
I think you just don't know how to keep secrets.
You're very fucking sweet for saying that. Here's the deal. I won't do anything stupid, but I will do things. I won't do anything loud, but I will do things. And I won't do anything to rock the boat or cause a problem, but I will do things. And I'm gonna keep those to myself.
Because you don't want help? Because you don't need help?
Here's a deal. Do I need help with things in my life? Yes, I do. You know what? I don't even know why I'm explaining this to you. I don't. Alex, we're fine. You and me, we're fine. Me and Marcus, we're fine. All right? I've got work to do. That's why I haven't been hanging out at Elysium.
What, work for him?
You know, sometimes it's work for him, but it's really work for me. All right?
Good. Yeah. No. Did you get that network up?
Yeah, it's been up for a week now.
Do you ever listen in? You didn't even think about that, did you?
Alex, I'm not an idiot. Of course, I'm listening in. And Marcus knows I'm listening in. All right, so I'm only going to get what Marcus wants me to get. All right?
Yeah, he's not an idiot either.
Yeah. We're all not a bucket of fucking mashed potatoes. You know? We're all smart. All right? I know I'm not 100 fucking million years old. I know I've been doing, you know, the blood thing for like a decade. I get that.
Being old isn't everything it's cracked up to be. Like, all you little ones, like, think that us being old means something. Just means we've seen a lot of shit and we're probably really bitter for it.
I know you see me as just like this scene kid, but nah, I got my own shit going on. I'm good. I'm so fucking good. And I'm not gonna do anything stupid. I know you care about me, and I'm grateful for that caring. I won't do anything stupid.
I never asked if you were going to do anything stupid, for the record.
No, but I could hear it in your head, like screaming at me.
Nope, that's not me. That's
Really?
Everybody else.
Really? Because Vince did something stupid, and Vince is younger than me, and I'm the next fucking youngest.
Vince didn't do something stupid. Vince saved our fucking lives.
Oh, no. Vince did a series of things, and some of them were very good, and some of them were not very good. I mean, we are all on the same page there, right?
What he did was to save us. The reason that I don't know. I just kind of feel like if we would have all come together as a coterie like we were supposed to be, it would have been our job to save him for saving us.
Yeah, but that's in the past.
That's beside the point.
We didn't get that option. We didn't get that choice. Marcus did. Marcus put him in. You know what? And you know, we don't know Vince's side. We don't. All right? But it's done. It's done. Now we have to be the little dominoes after the first domino got knocked over. And we got to go do our job and knock over other dominoes.
Yeah, you are just a chess piece.
I'm not a fucking chess piece. I'm the little piece of plastic that you rip off the chess piece because it came from a shitty manufacturer, and then you throw it in the fucking bin.
Not to me.
Chess pieces matter. Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
Quit talking about yourself like that. Rahm, I do not want you going anywhere. It makes me nervous that you feel like you can't speak to me, which is fine because I've told you don't trust anyone. So that's okay. The thing is, I just want you to be safe and I want you to know what's going on. Because none of them would think that you're worthy enough to tell you.
Then what do you want?
I don't want anything. I wanted to tell you. When have I asked you for anything? I mean, aside from this snack.
You know, I don't know what you've gotten from me, Alex. I don't.
Hey, you want to know a secret?
Okay.
There's a head in my fridge. Do you want to know whose? Ask. Do it.
Hey, Alex. Whose head is in your fridge right now?
A certain Nazi.
Wow.
I think we'll leave Alex and Rahm there for the moment and as Rahm deals with this news and switch over to Monika, who is, when last we left her, was crying up in Katerina's office.
Yeah, assuming someone doesn't grab her and escort her out, she's probably going to spend a solid 2 or 3 minutes weeping from her 2 primary eyes before that third one kicks in and gets her into gear. And that doesn't take long. That third eye can't tolerate that level of emotion for very long. They've survived too much to be defeated by something like this. So she is going to stand up, try to make sure that she didn't get any excess blood on Miss Bogdanovich's sofa or couch or whatever she forced her to sit down in. She's going to wipe off her face to the best of her ability, and then she's going to head downstairs to go talk to the Herald of the Barony.
No, Jean's at the top of the stairs. She was keeping an eye on things, so once Katerina left, Jean just moved tactfully to the stairs so that you wouldn't have someone staring at you while you were crying.
Oh, well, wasn't that polite of her? Yeah. She's such a nice person. Monika was, too. So Monika's going to come out of that room and she's going to look and say, "Oh, you're still here."
Yes, would I be anywhere else?
I don't have the emotional bandwidth to respond to that sarcasm right now. Hey, I need a couple of things from you. And she is going to reach into a backpack that she's carrying. And she's going to pull out a stack of those invitations to the reopening of Mackay Gardens. And of course, the very top one is addressed to Marcus Voss. The second one is addressed to Katerina Bogdanovich. And then there's a series of, there's one for Rahm, technically, that would be in this stack as well. And then there's just a series of blank ones. And she's going to hand that over to Jean. She's like, "Would you please make sure that gets to the Baron?"
Of course.
And then I need you to put me into contact with the emissary from Oakland.
She pauses, and an eyebrow goes up. Does this mean you're accepting the Baron's offer?
This means that I need you to put me in contact with the emissary from Oakland, please, Jean. We all have our roles to play, right?
Yes, but I...
Awesome. You'll be downstairs by the phone then? And then Monika's going to walk past her.
Monika walks past Jean. Jean texts Marcus. So Marcus downstairs, and Katerina, you've gone back downstairs and rejoined him. You get a text message from Jean saying Monika wants Sylvestre's info.
Yeah, absolutely. I text back, share it with her, and I'll position myself in the inner airlock space just to make sure that I don't miss Miss West leaving.
Jean catches up to you, Monika. And Sylvestre, do you have a phone?
I can be contacted by Pigeon at any time. They know where I am.
Jean catches up to you, Monika, and she says, you're going to want to speak to Sylvestre Laviolette, but just call him Sylvestre, and he can be reached by Pigeon.
What does that mean to me, Jean?
Go find a pigeon, tell it you're looking for Sylvestre, and he'll find you. And she smiles.
Monika doesn't. And she's going to stop on the stairwell looking back at her, and she's like, "This isn't funny. I don't know how to communicate through pigeons. You're the Herald, right? You have a job. That's what happens in the barony, right? We get assigned tasks, we get assigned job, and we're expected to comply with the expectations of those jobs. I'm asking you, as a member of your position here at court, to put me in touch with the emissary, not to go outside and start talking to random birds and hoping that I get lucky."
Miss West, before I do any work of the sort that is not explicitly ordered by the Baron, I need to know that you're doing the work on behalf of us, the barony. It is not part of my job to go find him for you if you are not working with us. You asked me how to contact him. He is Gangrel. He communicates by bird. He doesn't like technology. So, you can either go and tell a pigeon that you would like to speak to Sylvestre, and he'll find you, or if I have your assurance that you are working with us, I will send a message for you.
She turns fully, where she's shoulder to shoulder with Jean, and she's going to step up however many stairs it takes for her to be face to face. I'll pay my rent. Now put me in touch with the pigeon, please. And it's one of those things, because Jean has had interactions with Monika for the past 60 days. There's a vacancy in her 2 primary eyes, and it looks like, again, the voice box is coming from that third one.
I'm going to make a roll for Jean here. Okay. So Jean's posture relaxes slightly, and she leans forward. She doesn't touch you. Jean doesn't touch people very often. It's not really her thing, outside of House Lasombra anyway. And she just looks into your third eye. Not many vampires will make eye contact with that third eye. It tends to kind of creep them out a bit, but she does. And her voice softens a bit, and she says, "You know I like you, Monika. And I want you to be safe and happy. And I'm really looking forward to the reopening of your place. And I know Brujah methods are a little bit more of a strong arm than perhaps you're used to. But he's a good leader. And we're in a very difficult position here with enemies on 3 sides. We all have to do what we're called on to do to make sure everyone is safe. I'm not just making sure I'm safe in this place. Collective responsibility, which is something the Camarilla never understood." And she stands up, and she nods, and she heads downstairs saying, "I'll have a pigeon arrange for Sylvestre to meet you outside." And she disappears.
Monica's going to idle in that stairwell by herself for a moment, because she knows that she was in the wrong. But there's nothing that she can do about that at this moment. So after taking just a beat alone, she is going to turn and do like the gallop down the stairs so she can get out of Fort Knox as fucking quickly as possible.
So you run down the stairs, and you see Baron Voss himself waiting in the hallway between you and that giant vault of a door.
Her gait slows a bit. Marcus could probably hear, sense, see that hesitation. And then she just continues at the same speed. And she looks him, 3 eyes square in the face, Baron. And she's attempting to get around him.
I say, "Good evening, Miss West." I put my hand on the vault door, like the actual handle.
She looks at his hand, looks at the handle, and then 3 eyes square on you.
Ready to go?
Yes.
I take a deep breath. I pull the lever down just a little bit and say, "I'm sorry to hear you spent time in Germany. Very sorry. I spent some of the 40s there myself, breaking camps. I'm sorry we didn't get to you sooner."
I wasn't in Germany. I was in Guam. People tend to forget that the Japanese set up camps there as well.
I nod very slowly. An ugly time. I open the door.
And she shuts it. At some point, I'll owe you an apology. But right now, I hate you so much that I'm not able to articulate that. I have survived not 1, but 2 genocides by not making silly decisions, Baron. I've been hunted for my ethnicity. I've been hunted for my clan. We, the Salubri, are in less than double digits. And I have survived as long as I have by not being bullied by the leadership that, air quotations, provides us hospitality.
Yeah, I think the difficulty for us here is that it is very, very easy amongst kindred for everyone to just hope that the ceiling stays up and the next storm doesn't destroy it. And unfortunately, I've seen way too much destruction to know how easy it is for the ceiling to fall in. Even if Mallet left tomorrow, we're not safe. That's what I'm looking for.
She nods, and then she's going to reach for the handle.
There's no resistance from me.
And she'll slip out and leave.
I'm going to go hunt down Jean.
Jean had gone outside to tell a pigeon to find Sylvestre. So while this conversation was happening, Sylvestre, you got a pigeon who drops a message into your hand. Sylvie kind of cocks her little head and coos at it, and they just coo at each other for a minute. And then the other pigeon flies off, leaving you with a little message saying, "Meeting, Salubri, Marcus office, ?
And he reads it and he's just like, Salubri. What do I know about Salubri? Other than, I guess, they're rare.
You only know really the basics that everyone knows because there's so few of them. You didn't even know there was one in San Francisco.
Yeah, news to me. This is pretty relevant to my duties as an envoy, so I will agree to it. And he just turns to the bird on it that's beside him, and even though he's asked her not to sit on his shoulder, and he's just like, and he he takes out a scrap from his notebook. Sorry, takes the one that he's been given, flips it over, and on his notebook, using it as a back, he just writes, "Going to Elysium. If wanted presently, stop. We'll be returning to Voss office tomorrow." And that's just like TMRW. But he's just like, yep. And he just rolls that up and he's like, "I'm very sorry. Can you just take care of that?"
Sylvie bobs her head, clutches the paper, and flies off, leaving you to head to Elysium. So, Marcus, you come outside just as Jean is taking a message from a pigeon. It's a pigeon you haven't seen before. But Jean is talking to it, and it's bobbing its head a bit. And she nods and says to Monika as Monika comes out of the door, "You can either meet him at Elysium tonight," which I don't know how you feel about leaving the territory, but, you know, it's there. "Or he'll be back here tomorrow. Up to you."
All three of her eyes roll the exact same direction, the exact same speed. "I'll meet him here tomorrow."
And Jean looks back at the pigeon, and the pigeon bobs its head once and flies off.
"I assume it's fine if I attend Oakland tomorrow after I speak with your emissary, or do you want me to go tonight?"
No, tomorrow is fine.
"Have a good night, Baron."
I nod.
So, Monika, you head off back to Mackay Gardens, I assume?
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, you wanted to speak to Jean?
Yeah, really quickly, I just bring Jean inside and I let her know that we need to draft a short letter, or I'm going to draft a short letter to Miriam, and then I'm also going to have her deliver one to Sebastian by hand.
She nods. All right.
And then, depending upon how Sylvestre and Monika get on tomorrow night, if they decide to go together or decide to break away, we have an opportunity that may yet still be available to us. An opportunity to ensure a few things. So I sort of like bring her towards a more enclosed space and say the tables in our war may have been flipped over, and there may be a chance that someone very special to us is leaving post haste.
Oh, we can't have that. We should give them going away party.
Yes. I would like to make sure perhaps you and some very specific members of our barony here have an opportunity to host the party. I, of course, would like my own invitation.
Oh, absolutely.
With haste, Harold.
All due speed. The wings of Hermes. She laughs. And she'll take the letter off to Elysium, and we'll check in on Elysium in a moment. But first, Katerina, what have you been doing while all of this is going on?
I said my piece, and it probably hasn't dawned on me just how rough I was on Monika with that grandiose speech of basically, here's an ultimatum. But the silence breaks when I see Marcus come back in after his conversation with Jean. At least it's good that she is going to be the emissary.
It's good that she's willing to contribute to the community, yes. But There is more there than we know. There are 100 or so different tells for every single clan of vampires that are out there about how they're feeling, the way they act, the things that they choose to put importance on. And we know many of them. You and I haven't been in society here for so long, you more so than me. I fear I do not know enough about them, let alone Monika, to truly judge her. In my haste, I got agitated.
Well, it didn't go much better with my conversation with her.
Well, then perhaps this is not solely on you or I, but a collective effort.
Well,
A miscalculation.
she mentioned how she didn't have any family, how she doesn't have anyone she could count on, and I had to make it perfectly clear that she's not the only person who has been an orphan and has had to seek asylum somewhere else.
You and her share that.
Yes. And there wasn't a delicate way to drive that point home without informing her that, yes, there is someone who understands having to be alone for a very long time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's some more news that I should make you aware of. It appears that there may either be a ruse to flush us out into an open conflict where William can attempt to deal with us directly, or it is also possible he may be abdicating the regency. He has named a successor, of course.
As one does when they abdicate the throne.
That's right. Me. He can't do this, of course,
No,
for a multitude of reasons.
but you can't be serious.
If we are to take anything by the level of stationery that, Monsieur Mallet uses, I hold up the letter. I think he's fairly serious, at least. I have no interest in being prince. I like it even less than being called baron. But I think I have a solution if it does end up being true. It's great because it will mean an end to the barony as well. I smile.
And you will be cluing me in on those plans, I assume?
Certainly you're a part of them.
I should hope so.
Aye, dear Katerina, I wouldn't leave you behind.
You couldn't if you wanted to.
We should speak about another matter, not pertaining to this, but something that you should be brought into. You understand, of course, that Vince is sleeping?
That is what you told me, yeah?
He may be sleeping for some time. I want to make sure you understand that a choice was made to either put him into torpor or to kill him.
You wouldn't have put him into torpor if you didn't think we could help.
Perhaps someday, yes. Although I fear that any redemption that might come for him may take decades. He was very far gone.
Yes. But when things have calmed down, we're vampires. We have decades.
If we're lucky. Now, join me for a drink and tell me about how the new farm is going?
Yes, but first there is one more matter of business that I would like to address. I would like to talk to Chase.
Really?
Yes.
All right. About what?
About Monika.
Oh, I don't think I would actually call on Chase to bring his child in order.
No, it's not a matter of bringing her in order.
Very well. I have his contact permission. I will give it to you so you can make whatever inquiries you feel is necessary.
Thank you. Now we may have a drink.
So we'll leave Marcus and Katerina having a drink. Katerina, you now have Chase's card, his business card. And let's have a look in at Elysium. So, Sylvestre, in your torn up jeans and faded flannel and scruff, because you hadn't shaved when you were embraced, so you're just permanently scruffy.
I am permanently a guy in the middle of the jungle, yeah.
Pretty much. You've made your way through the city, walking, running, etc., as you do. No cars for Sylvestre, to Elysium, to the old yacht that Sebastian Melmoth has repurposed and turned into the Vampire Club. You haven't darkened the doors of Elysium for quite some time, but you know it, more or less. And it does seem to be rather busy this evening as you head in.
Because it's important that people are there, and that even though none of them are going to know who I am, they hear the message. I can't do it tonight. To keep Melmoth on side, that's okay too, but he'll let me talk.
As you walk in with your guitar over your shoulder and look around, you take in just the chatter. There's so many groups in here talking. It's kind of overwhelming to you walking into a building with so much noise. You're so used to being outside, and even when you go in, it's usually to smaller groups. But there's so many vampires in here, all talking, and there's someone shouting at someone else. You hear some glass breaking. It's interesting. And then you see the bewigged, bevelvet-pantsed Sebastian come running up to you. He looks a little agitated, but his eyes just kind of... Sylvestre? Do my eyes deceive me? No, there couldn't be more than one of that grungy little gremlin, now could there?
And he kind of just squints up at him. He's like, Sebastian, it's me, bud.
Someone feed you after midnight?
I don't get that reference. I know you said it like it's a thing I should know, but I don't. It's
been simply ages, darling. I'm glad to see you, whatever state you're in. And he just kind of wrinkles his nose a little bit.
Sebastian's just like, well, I've been getting around. Spent some time down in South America, went back up north to Seattle, went home for a bit, came back down. I've been all over.
And what ill wind blows you into Elysium tonight?
Oh, I am currently serving as the envoy between Mariam, leader of city and country gangrel in the greater San Francisco and Oakland areas. I am serving as envoy to Marcus Voss.
You?
Moi.
What has the world come to? He laughs. But, well, it's most auspicious night, my dear. The new prince has just been announced, and we don't know quite what to make of it.
Oh. This is a big surprise for Sylvestre, so he's just like, that's so.
Yes, it was just announced. Not really sure why, or how, or any of those other things, but apparently our beloved leader in the Camarilla has deemed your Marcus Voss, your Baron, as the new prince. Delightful.
And as Sebastian looks at him, he can see the cogs turning. And it's just like, that is very, very interesting. Sebastian, I came for you to ask your permission to perform some of the folk ballads to remind people of our history as a species.
Well, it can't cause any more of an uproar than we're already in, so I don't see why not. And he looks over his shoulder and he yells something in what sounds like Ukrainian, you're not quite sure, at two vampires standing in a corner their backs are kind of arched and they look like they're about to pounce on each other. They both look really angry and they just kind of start swearing at each other, but they sit back down. It's quite the chaos. I wished for more busyness around here, but not quite this much. But do go on. The band is on break for the moment.
Oh, excellent. So they won't mind. And don't worry, I can raise my voice loud enough to be heard over the din.
I'm sure you can, bub. He just shakes his head.
No, I know that reference.
So, are you going to get set up on the stage?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just going to tune my acoustic guitar, which is always a little bit out of key, because...
Mm-hmm. So, as you're getting set up, Alex having informed Rahm about your head in the freezer, it's time for you to make an appearance at Elysium. You saw Rahm ride off with Jane on Jane's motorcycle. Jane just kind of winks at you, and you hear a little laugh coming from her other mouth. And they ride off. Rahm looks slightly terrified as he's holding on to Jane's back.
Well, I mean, our meeting went a little bit better than I expected, so...
And so you make your way off to Elysium. It's very, very busy tonight. You can hear the noise even before you get out of the Lincoln. And as you walk in, you see people yelling at each other. It appears to be pretty much all vampires in here, no ghouls tonight. And there's Sebastian looking a bit harried, and there's a bit of blood splatter on his lace cuffs, which is very out of character for him. And there's a very untidy, short-looking man seated on a stool on the stage. He looks very grungy, and he's holding a guitar, and he looks like he's about to sing.
Good Lord. I'm going to wrinkle my nose at the stage and turn and start helping Sebastian keep people in line. Like, if I need to, I will start grabbing people by their collars and putting them in corners. And I have intimidation, I have potence, all that stuff. So to make sure that I can help him out.
The whole room starts calming down a little bit. I mean, wherever you go, Alex, both with your rather deathly demeanor, but also the sheer beauty of your physique tends to make people calm down a little bit as you stalk over to your table. And Sebastian is muttering, "Thank Cain you're here. It's been quite a night. Well, we've got a very special performance this evening. I'm sure you'll love it, darling."
Yeah, I can smell it from here.
Yes, it is rather unfortunate. He doesn't seem to have discovered the invention of cologne. Or showers.
Rolls around outside 90% of the time.
Well, he's a gangrel.
There you go.
One of the jungle lot.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh, extra swampy.
Yes, quite not used to all the buildings and things. But, well, you might find him interesting. He's the new envoy to Baron Voss, who, if you haven't heard, is now also Prince Voss, apparently.
What?
I wonder, what order do we put those in? Is it Baron Prince or Prince Baron? The rules of etiquette just quite elude me at this moment.
Yeah. I don't know how that's gonna fly. So what is your council doing?
Oh, the Primogen Council? They're in an uproar.
Well, I know. Their Tremere's gone. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, the Tremere whip is gone. It's
right.
Quite nasty. And he looks a bit disgusted. His nostrils flare.
Did you get details on that?
I'm rather wondering about the timing, because the details I heard would normally be quite shocking, but the announcement of Prince Baron Voss has rather overshadowed it. Very suspicious. Rumor is...
That is suspicious. What is the rumor?
He leans in and he drops his voice and he gets kind of serious, which is always a big thing for Sebastian. It's... It wasn't one of us.
What?
That's what I hear. Her child, that dreadfully creepy little 8-year-old, Lisa or something, was babbling incoherently when I found her. Outside my door. Humans. Mortals. Kine.
How were they able to overpower her?
I don't know. Neither did Lisa. Or Annalise, I suppose she prefers. But that's what she says. I don't have any of the Tremere woo, so it's not like I can check the veracity of her claims, and I'm definitely not going into that creepy Nazi house. But she says it was humans. Small group of them.
Interesting.
I didn't think we had hunters in San Francisco. And the fact that no one's talking about that makes the timing of the announcement of Prince Baron Voss very suspicious, don't you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I haven't spoken to him in about a week. So, I don't know what he's up to.
Well, the fact that the Prince Regent, former Prince Regent, I don't know, the fucking hammer, made the announcement at this time. Completely distracting from the fact that we may have hunters in our beloved Bay Area after so long. I don't like it, Alex. I really don't.
No, but some of it also seems like it might be a play to basically throw this city in an uproar and be like, well, here you go, Marcus, have fun.
It might be.
Which leaves the rest of us that just want to survive in a shitty spot.
Yes. Well, isn't that just like them? Men. He rolls his eyes. And he leans in and just adjusts the pin on your cravat just a little bit. So what have you got for me, darling?
Not a whole lot. I will soon, though.
You'd better.
Well, you know, the ghosties I talked to might have more information about the whip. But I'll have to wait.
Wonderful.
To see.
Make sure you give me everything you get. And if you do hear anything from the Prince Baron, every time he says that, his eyes just kind of twinkle slightly. You must pass it along.
Yeah, it seems like he's too busy for me right now, so we'll see what we got going on.
And as that conversation is wrapping up, Sylvestre, you finish tuning your guitar. And as much as you tune it, which is not very much. And do you get the attention of the audience, or do you just start singing?
Oh, I get their attention first. How do you do that? It's so Sylvester plays the guitar by extending his claw of his index finger to pick. And when he notices that people aren't giving him his due respect, he makes one very hard, no chord, just hard strum. He's like, kindred siblings, I'd appreciate some of your time. I'd like to remind you all of an event in our history together.
So as you do that, and everyone turns, wincing with heightened senses, the noise is even more staticky, and it hurts even more to everyone. They turn to look at you, and as you start to play, I would like a charisma plus performance roll.
Well, Rena, I will be performing them a retelling of the Week of Nightmares to remind them of when one clan was almost wiped out by its own antediluvian. To remind them that the entire structures of vampire society are made so that our elders may consume us in turn whenever it strikes their fancy. So I get +3 to my dice pool.
Yes, you do. So, because you have a fun lore sheet. So
I do.
Make that roll. And so as Sylvester starts performing, someone else walks into Elysium. And who might that be?
That is going to be a very irritated Monica West is going to wind up walking into Elysium.
How did that happen?
She was on her way. So I should actually say this. They were on their way back to Mackay Gardens, but they were unpacking everything that had happened with Marcus and everything that had happened with Katarina and how she effectively bullied Jean and Jean didn't actually deserve it. So all of that is recycling through her head and she's replaying it like most super neurotic people do. And she realizes they realize they can't take that energy back to their kids at Mackay Gardens. So there's this spark of irritation. It's like, no, I asked to meet this emissary and this fucker told me his schedule, unacceptable. He's going to be on my schedule. And then like the car swerves around at some cul-de-sac and she's going to start heading towards Elysium.
So Monica, you walk in and you didn't go to Elysium very much anyway because you preferred to stay closer to home, but you have been once or twice. But it's a rare enough occurrence that people turn to look at you as you come in. Because, like you said, you've only got that bandana over your third eye, or did you not cover it?
If she's walking into Elysium, she would have pulled that off at the door.
Okay. So, Alex, as this gangrel up on the stage starts revving up, you see a salubri walk in. And you know there's two in town. So this has to be Monika, but you've never met her before. And she's out of the territory. Interesting.
How pretty is Monika? It is relevant.
It is relevant.
She doesn't have the added attribute of beautiful like you and Rahm do, so she's just normal, good-looking vampire. So you see a very pretty salubri walk in, Pacific Islander, her third eye uncovered, looking around. And so what was the result of your roll, Sylvestre, as Monika walks in?
Including a critical 5 successes.
Damn.
I am very impassioned when talking about how my clan failed this other clan.
This gangrel starts singing in this sort of husky voice. It's more compelling, Alex, than you would expect from him. And even though you don't even really want to look at him because he's very unattractive, you find yourself listening to the music as you're watching the salubri walk in. And Monika, you're not entranced, right? But you are fascinated by this. You've never seen really vampire folk music before.
Yeah.
It's incredible coming from this little gremlin.
Yeah, there's an organic beauty to it. She has to recognize that.
I'm going to stand up and I guess pit my beauty against the music and wave Monika over.
She will look over and all 3 eyes narrow at you slightly with curiosity. And then she's going to do another glance around the room because she doesn't really know what Sylvestre looks like. So she'll head over.
So, Monika, you go up to this very, very gorgeous, tall person in a very expensive, well-tailored suit.
Oh, God. Oh, it's sexy and money?
Oh,
Are
yeah.
they emotionally distant, too? Because that's a game changer at that point.
Oh, yes.
Hi.
Hi, you must be Monika?
Yeah,
I'm Alex Giovanni.
I'm familiar with the name. And she extends a hand out, and there's a moment where you can see there's almost like a glitch or a weird malfunction on her personality because she's kind of taken aback by exactly how attractive you are. I mean, vampires are hot, but like that's a day-old story, but there's something special here. So she staggers for a moment before extending that hand out.
I will take her hand and like gently guide her into the booth to sit with me.
Oh, no, I was sitting next to you now. Alex, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, what brings you out of the territory?
There's a hard pause that she's biting the inside of her lip. And you can tell she's biting some slick-ass comment that she really wants to say out loud. I'm looking for a gangrel, as a matter of fact. And she pulls out that sheet of paper, Sylvestre, and she'll show it over to Alex.
The only gangrel I know here tonight is Stinky up on stage.
Her eyes will float over. No, you're kidding me.
Do I look like somebody who would kid?
She flashes you a smile. She says, I don't know you well enough to tell.
Well, obviously you haven't heard enough about me then.
I have heard a few things. One, we tend to work some of the same overlapping circuits. I had a Toreador tell me once that anything that I didn't catch, you would have to clean up after me, and he'd dock my pay if he had to call you.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it feels that way.
I'm very expensive.
She raises an eyebrow. Actually, all 3 of her eyebrows are probably going to raise on that one. What brings you to Elysium tonight?
Well, I made a promise to a friend as I like kind of gesture towards Sebastian that I would make an appearance regularly. Also, I don't really have a side, so I have to appear on both.
I think I'm jealous. It's a privilege to be able to straddle like that, especially in this climate.
But it has its ups and downs, because you get people that distrust you or don't want to work with you because you won't pick a side. And then in some ways it insulates you because you don't have to. I just don't like the politics, honestly.
She huffs, groans, and like throws her head back into that seat and just like, I know. It's exhausting. Speaking of politics, that's actually why I'm here tonight as I sit here and stand on my hypocrisy. If you'll excuse me for a second, I need to go pull a gangrel off stage.
Yeah, speaking of the gangrel, Sylvestre, you've been singing, air quotes around singing, more like growling, this ballad and very angrily strumming your guitar. And there's a group of young Malkavians who have linked arms and are just sort of rocking back and forth, kumbaya style, in front of the stage.
Yeah, I used to do this way more in the 60s. There was a lot more of that going on then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just giving it socks. He is... Oh boy, he is just telling about how Ravnos wiped out all of his own kindred, all his descendants within just the course of years, but that there was no escape until he was destroyed in Bombay.
And you have there's a couple of Bruja going, yeah, fuck them, fuck him, in the back. And the Malkavians have started humming, and there's a little bit of static in the air, almost as they're humming, and Sebastian is just in the back. What is happening?
Yeah, hey, guess what? There's an anarchist in your goddamn house.
That's when you start to see the Salubri who came in a few minutes ago start coming up to the stage.
Honestly, he's so into it that as he knows that he's near the end of the excerpt that he's doing, he's not done the whole thing because it takes actual
Nights.
Multiple nights of performance. But he is doing his quick, abridged, fuck the authorities version. And yeah, he is coming to the end. He's just like, he sees this person, makes eye contact with them, and then just like kind of a just, okay, I see you, but I have to finish this. And he's just going to finish on the note about how this could happen at any time. Sure, there were portents, but everything's important in retrospect.
So if she approached, because she would have just, excuse me, moved to the very front of the stage. And if you made eye contact with her and didn't immediately stop and went right back to what you were doing, by the time that you're getting near to being finished and you glance up to that same spot, she's not there. What she is going to do is trace whatever chord leads, those set of chords that lead to that stage. And the second that she thinks that song is finished, she's unplugging them. She's not going to interrupt it. He rolled a 5. It's good music. She doesn't want to be here any longer, and she's super distracted by the Hikata over in the corner. So let's unplug him the moment he finishes that last line.
Sure, yeah. And he's just like, that doesn't usually happen, but I mean, actually it happens more often than I'm happy to admit, if I'm honest. I'm more used to it than you think. A scald within Clan Gangrel. So yeah, he's just going to stand up, take just a small bow, and just walk off, guitar in hand, straight over to the Salubri, and he's just going to be like, all right, so I've never met one of your clan, but I'm assuming you're the one that I was asked to talk to. Is that right?
I was the one that asked to speak with you, yes. Monika, West. She'll extend a hand.
Yeah, and he extends his horrible, grimy shovel hand and shake yours without giving you a chance to flinch. And he's like, Sylvestre La Violette, pleased to meet you. That one always takes a lot out of me, but just... Okay, so...
It was beautiful for what it's worth.
Well, what it wasn't. What can I do for you, Monika West?
Well, I am on my way to Oakland tomorrow, and I was hoping that you could give me some perspective on what I'll be walking into as the new emissary from Baron Voss's court.
Oh, no shit, bud. That's great. Tell you what, let's have a sit down, and I'll bring you up to speed on who's who and what's what.
Thank you.
Really, Oakland's pretty good. It's not bad. It has a bit of a bad rap with folks in the city, but it's good.
So, do you sit down with Alex or at a separate table?
Well, I don't know Alex.
You don't. So that's a question for Monika.
I mean, she doesn't have a baseline on Alex other than their clan, kind of what their occupation is, the fact that they're really fucking hot, and that they're independent. So right now she would probably be following the gangrel to a private table where they could just sit down. But it's one of those things that she can't help but to stare at Alex from across the room. Like, it doesn't matter who she's moving in front of or what column she has to walk around. Like, she's just looking in that direction the entire time.
So here's what I'll say. Sylvestre's gone up to the bar to get drinks, and he sees you looking over at this one person. He's like, "Oh, you've got a friend. Excellent." And he's like, so he's got 3 glasses of blood, and he just goes over and he's like, "Oh, how's it going?" And he's just gonna put one down and take out a cigarette and just... He knows that Sebastian doesn't let him smoke, but he's allowed to keep it in his mouth as long as he doesn't light it. So he's got this home rolled cigarette.
Alex is gonna wipe down the glasses.
And he's just gonna sit down. And he sits down, his legs are, he does the Riker sit, where his right leg swings over the chair like it's almost a saddle, and then he lowers himself into it. And he's like, "Oh, well, so, want to know about Oakland? Well, you'll be dealing with Miriam. I can give you a letter of introduction if you like, or I can bring you out there. Let's see, what else do I got?" And he keeps on, taking the cigarette out of his mouth and putting it back, because he's just so used to being smoking for 100 and something years. What do you need to know? What don't you know? What do you know?
I don't know anything. I'm coming in completely blind. I was assigned this task 30 minutes ago.
All right.
Wait, why would we be sending a salubri? That seems dangerous.
That third eye looks at you with that face like, exactly! We were thinking the same goddamn thing. But that's just the third eye.
Once you're in Oakland, you'll be under, as an envoy, you'd be under gangrel protection. So, we're pretty much the only ones out there for the most part. Yeah, I'll go with you the first time, introduce you to everybody, and we will see how we can get on.
Thank you.
Is there a reason you were chosen for this role, or is it
Those decisions happen far above my pay grade by the landlord. Sorry.
Tell me about it. Bud. And he's just got this real wide shit-eating grin.
I think we'll leave the 3 of them there. So, Rahm, it's been an interesting talk with Alex, and you need to get out and clear your head, and also you have someone waiting for you. So you make your way out of Mina's home without really saying goodbye to Alex, who doesn't seem to care, because that's just Alex. And you see Jane on her motorcycle, as she promised, waiting at the end of the driveway.
Fantastic. Ground myself and just dump everything that I had to feel and process and know in the last 15 minutes, other than head fridge, and just ground that out into the dirt. I'll exhale and I'll walk towards the motorcycle.
Jane takes her helmet off for a moment and says, "You look like you saw a ghost."
You would be surprised at how often that actually happens.
"You hang out with a Hakata." "No, I wouldn't." "Jump on. We got shit to do." And she revs up the bike and takes off. And you notice, Rahm, that you are leaving the territory after a few minutes.
That's fine. I'm probably making motorcycle noises inside my helmet.
And you find yourself, after about 25 minutes or so, entering into the Castro district of San Francisco. It is noisy, even in February. There are lots of very interesting humans out and about, and more than a few, it looks like gangrel, and a few Bruja in leather jackets. Ah, yes, these would be the bears. Jane jumps off the motorcycle after parking it, takes your helmet, hangs it off the edge of the bike. She doesn't seem too worried about anyone trying to steal the helmets or the bike. She just parks it there and leaves it. No wheel locks or anything. And you hear her muttering something to the front console part of her bike, and it sounds suspiciously like, "Behave, Brad."
That doesn't concern me at all, Rahm lies to themselves. And I assume that there's probably like an air tag or something on the helmet. I'm sure if they go missing that they'll be able to find them quite easily. So, God, this motorcycle is weird.
Because Rahm's never met a Zamitsi, right? So it's all a little unsettling. Jane leads you up the steps to a queer bar, and it's got a poster up for a drag performance night. According to the poster, it looks like they've got one almost every night. But the lead performer this evening is a Miss Poppy Cox. And she looks at you as she opens the door and she says, "Now listen, I don't know what you know about Zamitsi, but we dragons are territorial. And this is not my territory."
Oh, then why are we here?
"Because my dear friend Frank is letting me stay here.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I'm doing some business here.
it's like
you
take
are
my
my
shoes
guest.
off.
No, but you would be
Oh.
wise not to start any problems. Don't eat anyone you're not allowed to eat."
I'm not a barbarian. I am charming and genteel and an upstanding member of the community. Just ask the Malkavian Whip.
"Oh, Sir Roger, he's a delight."
Yeah, see? Yeah, we're all one big happy family.
"Well, just stick with me, Rahm. You're a client, so we shouldn't have any issues with Frank anyway."
Yeah,
She smiles.
yeah, and like, look, I'm not here to posture. It's fine. I get it. I hear you 100% loud and clear.
She leads you into the club, but not into the main room where you can hear someone doing what sounds like insult comedy, making fun of audience members. But it sounds like the same voice being spoken from 4 or 5 different mouths.
Brahm's refusing to be freaked out anymore. We've already transitioned into the exploration of vampiric culture, sociology, and in some cases, thanks to Alex, theocracy. So, Rahm is here to learn and absorb and not form their own thoughts and biases, but just put a pleasant smile on their face and be a good little boy.
You follow Jane down a set of stairs into a basement area. It's a little cold, but, that doesn't really bother you being undead. There's some interesting looking furniture around. Well, leather of some kind. And perhaps a few too many armrests. But it's rather comfortable, if a bit goth in its aesthetic. And there is an operating table set up with a very big light set over it. Some interesting tools laying around. And Jane just marches over to a table and sits down and says, "Let's talk."
For the first time in Rahm's existence, they're out of one-liners. So he goes over and, I guess, sits on the corner of the table.
All right. So, what do you want?
You guys don't really, follow HIPAA here or anything, right? So, patient-doctor confidentiality isn't, really a thing for you, is it? I mean, it would be nice if it was, but I understand that each and every one of us is a political creature.
She barks out a laugh at that. I don't give a damn about politics. I don't give a damn about the Camarilla or the Anarchs or whatever else the fuck you have going on in this silly little town.
Who don't give a damn about politics do so because it is a luxury to them. As soon as your livelihood is threatened, or the livelihood of someone that you love is threatened, you will cease to be a non-political creature. That's just how the world is here. I'm not here to lecture.
Crosses her arms and holds up a finger, and she says, "You're gonna lecture me?"
I'm not.
She turns her head, she pulls up her hair, and you can see this massive scar running down her neck, all the way down towards her chest. And she turns her head, and you can see several more across the other side of her neck. And there's another one running from behind her ear into her face. And she says, "You don't want to know what it was like being a trans woman in 1973, working at an abortion clinic in a rural town. You don't want to know how I died, Rahm the shaman. When I say I'm not political, I mean I don't engage in politics because I go in and I remove internal organs in places. I take people away from the things that hurt them. I can name for you right now 15 trans kids I've taken out of Texas in the last 6 months and placed in other areas where they will be safe. I don't care about infighting, Rahm. I don't care about who's the prince or the baron or bowing and scraping. Politics don't concern me because I actually do shit." And she's got this very cold, hard look in her eyes.
Rahm does the right thing and shuts the fuck up.
Very good. I might also give you a word of caution about lecturing a fleshcrafter when you're in their murder dungeon and no one knows you're here.
I look to the left and I look to the right. Hey, Jane, I am sorry.
Thank
You are right. And I was presumptuous.
We have different ways of going about things, Rahm. You do your thing to take care of your family. I take care of people in my way. Just ask Brad.
What should I know about Brad?
Oh, Ventru motherfucker who's flesh crafted into my motorcycle.
Cool.
He helped fund Jerry Falwell back in the day. He regrets it now.
You are completely aware of how interesting you are, right?
Yes.
Fascinating.
So, what can I do for you, Rahm the shaman?
I would like to put my heart in your hands, very literally. Here's what I need. I need the smallest of insurance policies. And Rahm is literally teary-eyed right now. I am not sure I'm gonna make it through the year. But if I'm going to, I'm going to need a little help. And what I'd like you to do, if you're willing, and if I can trust you, which, strangely, oddly enough,
I feel like I can, is I would like you to reach into my chest cavity and move my heart down and to the left from where it is currently appropriately placed so that I can survive getting staked. That's my goal. Is that doable?
It's almost disappointingly mundane.
Well, you see, Jane, I like you. I do. I don't know why, but I do.
It's because I'm so irrepressibly charming.
Exactly. And the last thing that I want to do is disappoint you. So, let's add another layer to this issue. Because here's the deal. I'm here. People know I'm here. So having a surprise contingency doesn't really do me any good if it's not a surprise. So, I would like you to do some cosmetic work on my back. I have recently affiliated myself with a cult of Michael. And
that explains the glowing teeth.
Thank you so much. I would like to allow you to do some artistic ministrations on my back. Maybe something a little artistic. Maybe something a little angelic.
You want wings?
I mean, who doesn't? But that's not what I'm going to ask for, because you see, as soon as you strap a pair of wings to my back, I'm kind of stuck in a concrete room until I die again. So instead, I thought maybe you could just add something decorative and beautiful and a piece of you onto that work. Something not unlike when you go to a tattoo artist and you have a idea, but the person doing the work is the one really pulling the artwork out of themselves and placing it on another person. So that's what I'm asking you to do, Jane. I'm asking if you would do me the kindness of applying your science and your art to me in such a fashion. And then I will be grateful to you, and I will accept whatever terms you need to place upon me, including you keeping this quiet on your side, of course.
She smiles, strokes her chin a little bit. I think I can work with the feather motif. That would be interesting. Glad you're not going so gauche as actual wings. I would have had to draw the line. All right, well, if you want this work done, I assume you want at least the first part done now, if you're worried about being staked.
Rahm is literally shaking right now. Just a little tremble in their wrists and their fidgeting hands. They are raw. The rims of their eyes are a little red. They're emotionally compromised, and I'm sure that that's visible. And they say, yeah, let's do it now.
She cocks her head a little bit. She reaches out a hand and just sort of puts it on your shoulder and says, Don't worry. They won't be able to find it when I'm done. But 1 second. She lets out a piercing whistle, and this tiny, scuttling little fleshy crab with a little flesh straw sticking out of it comes scuttling up. She says, "You look like an O-negative kind of person. Drink up."
Does it have like a name?
Well, it used to be Diana, but
Oh, somehow that's worse. Oh, okay.
you asked.
No, yeah. Hey, we're gonna start doing this thing where I just radically trust you and not ask more questions. So I'm gonna bite it. I guess I'm gonna bite it.
So, here's the terms then. I'm going to take
Mm-hmm.
a pint of your blood,
Okay.
not for the operation, for my use.
Well, what? Wait, what was that before?
You don't need to know.
Well, I thought we were starting like a friendship here, Jane.
I
Fine.
don't know what I'll be using it for, Rahm.
But that's the terms? The terms is that I don't know.
Yes. Because I don't even know yet. I just might have need of it in the future.
I did just say I was gonna start radically trusting you.
You did.
Shit. All right.
Deal.
And you're going to owe me a favor. You don't know what it will be or when I will call it in, but you will not protest. You will not put it off. You will not monologue for 20 minutes trying to figure out a way to get out of it.
I have almost never done that today. Yeah, I agree. One other thing. It's not like a term. It's more of a request. Do you want to hang out sometime after all this?
She just kind of cocks her eyebrow and looks at you. Hang out?
Yeah. You have some stories, obviously, in your heart and in your head. And I would love to hear them.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right, get up on the table. Take your shirt off. This is going to be more fun for me than it is for you.
That's not ominous at all.
Oh, it's going to hurt, Rahm. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to hurt like a motherfucker.
Oh, cool. Like, screaming is okay, right?
No one can hear you scream down here. I had it soundproofed.
Oh, then yeah, we're good. Probably.
Just a good soundtrack.
Yeah. No, that's. You're a piece of work.
No, that's what you're about to be. And I think that is where we will leave this scene for the moment. And on one final note, Marcus, as you're having a drink with Katerina, you get a text message from Gloria, and it just says, "The office is on fire."
Fantastic.
And that is where we will leave tonight's episode. Thank you all for listening. Come back to our fiery next episode next time. But until then, thank you and good night.